All right, welcome back. Today we are cracking open one of the most complex, most talked about movies out there, Christopher Nolan's Inception. But we're going to look at it through a totally different lens. The idea that it's not just this incredible heist movie, but that it's actually a secret masterclass on how to make a film. So yeah, let's go deep, let's go into the dream and see how this whole thing connects.
So let's just start with this one kind of wild thought. What if the entire mind-bending plot of Inception, the whole stealing and planting ideas thing, what if it wasn't about a heist at all? What if the whole thing is just one giant, incredibly detailed metaphor for the process of making a movie?
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to start right at the top. At the top of the call sheet. We're talking about the one person whose vision guides literally every single frame of a film, the director. And in the world of Inception, who is that? It's Cobb, right? He's called the extractor. He's the leader of the mission. But if you look closer, his real role is the film director. He's the guy responsible for the entire creative vision. I mean, think about it. Cobb's job is a perfect mirror of what a director does. He's the visionary lead, right? He's the one who sets the whole story in motion. Then he's the psychological strategist, basically figuring out how to manipulate emotions to get the reaction he wants. And of course, he's the team coordinator, pulling together all these different specialists to make his vision a reality. It's a total high-wire act, and the biggest danger is his own mind getting in the way. And this is where the biggest risk comes into play. The character Mal, she's not just some villain. She is literally the physical manifestation of Cobb's guilt. She's the ultimate saboteur, which is just this perfect allegory for how a director's own personal demons, their own baggage, can just invade a project and threaten to tear the whole thing down from the inside out. But look, a director's vision means nothing if you don't have a team to actually execute it. So next up, let's talk about the production team. The people who are actually responsible for building the dream. And that brings us to Arthur, the point man. So if Cobb is our big picture visionary director, Arthur is the grounded, absolutely essential producer. He's the one in charge of all the research, the logistics, the practical stuff. He is the guy who figures out how to actually make the impossible happen. And his duties? They line up perfectly with a producer's job description. When he's researching the mark, what's he really doing? He's location scouting. When he's managing logistics, that's just a fancy way of saying he's handling the budget and the schedule. And that tactical execution when everything goes wrong, that is the absolute core of being a producer, solving the million little problems that pop up on set every day to keep the whole production from just completely falling apart. And speaking of logistics, what's one of the biggest headaches for any producer? Time. And in Inception, this idea is pushed to the absolute extreme. We see time expand exponentially the deeper they go into the dream. We're talking it multiplies by 20 for every single level they go down. It is quite literally a scheduling nightmare. And here's what that actually looks like in practice. Just a few minutes of turbulence on the plane, well, that turns into hours of chaos in the rainy city. And that turns into weeks of struggle inside that crazy hotel. And then that becomes literal years trapped in the snow fortress. It's the perfect way to show how just one small delay at the start of a production can have these massive snowballing consequences for the entire crew. Okay, next up in our production team, Ariadne, the architect. Her role is maybe one of the clearest parallels. She's the production designer or maybe even the screenwriter. Her job is to literally build the world, the sets, the environments, where the whole story is going to take place. And her job really comes down to these key pillars of world building. That maze complexity she creates, that's her screenwriting. She's building this intricate plot to guide the target through the story without them even knowing it. Then you have environmental realism. That's pure production design. She has to build a set so believable that the subject can get totally lost in it. And all that impossible geometry stuff, folding cities in half, well, what is that? That's the movie's mind-bending special effects, designed to just completely blow the audience away. But there is one critical rule she absolutely has to follow. You can't build from your own memories. The second you do that, you're contaminating the set with your own personal stuff. You blur that line between the dream and reality, between art and your own life, and you risk losing complete control of the story you're trying to tell. Okay, so let's recap. We've got our director, our producer, and our production designer. So what's missing? We need the cast and crew. We need the on-screen talent and the technical wizards who actually bring this whole world to life. And this one? This might be the most on-the-nose parallel in the entire movie. We've got Eames, the forger. But come on, what is he really? He's the actor. His entire job is to impersonate other people, to give a performance, and to sell the emotional truth of the story. Yeah, his performance is what creates that all-important emotional hook. He gets in there, he manipulates the target's emotions, and he makes this completely fake idea feel totally real. But the risk here is huge. Think about it. One bad performance, one line that doesn't land, and the whole illusion just shatters. The audience is immediately pulled right out of the movie. And finally, we've got our crew. We have Yusuf, the chemist. His special sedative compound is literally the foundation the entire mission is built on. So in our filmmaking analogy, he represents the entire technical crew. We're talking cinematographers, sound mixers, VFX artists, all the people who handle the complex gear that makes the movie even possible. And the technical parallels here are just fascinating when you break it down. The potency of the sedative, that's like having the right camera tech. Without it, you can't even get a stable image. The stability of the whole formula, that's your production management, just keeping everything running smoothly. And the sensitivity to the kick that wakes them up, that's like a perfect sound mix, hitting the audio cue at just the right second to bring the audience back. Without that level of technical precision, the whole film just falls apart. And what happens when you have the ultimate technical failure? You get limbo. This is what happens when the sedation is too powerful. If you die in the dream, you don't wake up. Your mind just collapses and gets trapped in this raw, unconstructed subconscious space. It's like making a film so immersive, so all-consuming that the crew themselves can't find their way back to reality. So we've got the director, we have the production team, we've got the cast and the technical crew. But who is all of this for? This brings us to maybe the single most important piece of the entire puzzle. The mark. Robert Fischer. He's not the bad guy. He's not the opponent. He is the audience. This entire massive, elaborate production is being staged for one person, him. The goal isn't to steal from him, it's to plant an idea that will give him a powerful emotional catharsis. And this, right here, is the final brilliant connection that makes it all click. The marks of conscious defenses, that militarized security, what is that, really? It's just like an audience's natural cynicism and disbelief. And the team's job is to break through all of that, to overcome those defenses in order to deliver what every single filmmaker dreams of, a powerful, memorable, and truly cathartic experience. And that brings us to the absolute core idea of this whole thing. Just like a movie, the dream world is a total fabrication. It's not real, it's a construct. But the emotional journey it takes you on, the feelings it makes you feel, those are 100% real. So, that leaves us right where the film does, with that spinning top wobbling on the table. But now the question feels different, doesn't it? If the emotional journey was real for Cobb, if he got his catharsis, and the film, the mission, was a success, does it actually matter if that top fell? Or is the experience you had the only reality that truly counts?